Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sunday's, update and kind of my thoughts on everything that's going on in the world right now, especially clearly, obviously, here in the United States. Let me talk, let's get a little spiritual or go inside a little bit, which, if you know me, is or you haven't seen me in a while, you're probably going to get a kick out of. But at the end of the day, it really isn't a joke. I just got done meditating for 20 minutes. You have to start your day off with a meditation. You have to go inside and find that calmness, that peace. A wise man once said, you have to meditate for 30 minutes a day. And if you don't have 30 minutes, an hour. I want you to think about that for a second, if it did make sense, because it's the absolute truth. You have to find that inner calmness, that peace, and go inside. Just calm your mind down. A lot of you are suffering right now, not due to anything actually happening, but because of your mind. Suffering comes from a couple of things. You're anxious about a future, or depressed or regretful over the past. That does absolutely nothing. You cannot do anything about what's potentially going to happen in the future. You can plan for it, but what's going to happen in the future is going to happen in the future. And the past, living in the past, is awful. Again, I don't know the dude. There's my literally dog-eaten version of The Power of Now. I'm glad a bunch of you said, wow, I did order that. This is for what's going on right now, folks, this is an absolute must-read. Again, look at that. Highlighter, torn pages, folded down pages. I'm in the process of reading this again. A lot of people are suffering because of what's being created up here. You have to accept what's going on right now. You can't wish for things to be different. Wishing for things to be different than they are creates this internal dogfight. It's going to eat you up. And it's going to be very, very painful. Acceptance isn't giving up. And again, I'm not going to steal thunder from this guy, but because he's going to say it a hell of a lot better than I can. But if you've never meditated in your life, guess what? Now is the damn time to start. And there's a ton of online resources. Just Google it on YouTube. I find a different one each day. And I have my favorites that work for me. You have got to do this. I'm telling you, it's going to help us get all through this. Matter of fact, if the entire world meditated, there would be peace on earth. North Korea wouldn't be firing off rockets. Houthi rebels wouldn't be launching ICBMs or Scuds into Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So there's some bad actors around the world starting to, when their country's in trouble, what do? Let's create some boogeymen. Iran. The United States started this virus and unleashed it on you. We can't do anything about it. It's the big evil Satan. So if these people actually took a moment and did some of the stuff that is talked about in here, so you absolutely have to do it. Later in the day, I'm going to put out a not ugly video, obviously talking about trading and how the market's going to look this week. In my opinion, it's comical how some folks came out of the woodwork. Haven't heard them since I predicted the implosion, and now they're like, oh, you got it wrong last week. That was a bottom. Are you high? You're an idiot if you thought that was a bottom last week. This thing hasn't even started yet, folks. And I feel bad for the people that have already suffered and died. We haven't even, so everybody else is Italy, China, the United States, we're not even vertical. We're like inverted going uphill, folks. You have no idea. 60.5 million Italians. I zipped through 10,000 yesterday. We have 327 million Americans. Don't give me the bullshit about they hug a lot and they're very loving and they have an older society. Stop with all the qualifiers. Let's just do, as an options trader, as a fighter pilot, you contingency plan. You plan for the worst case scenario, and then if it doesn't happen, you're pleasantly surprised. If you plan for the best case scenario and get your ass kicked, you want to talk about being depressed and beaten down? That's when that happens. So stop. So at a minimum, just using cocktail party math, cocktail napkin math, 50 million Americans-ish. So for all it's just the flu jackasses out there, first of all, you were part of the problem. I said 2 months ago, Dr. Fauci said last month, he's like, when it comes to a potential pandemic, with absolutely no cure. Probably a little overreaction is better than an underreaction. Underreactions get people killed. Underreactions start panic. When the president starts talking about a lockdown of cities or states. We'll talk about that in a second. What an absolute disgrace between Trump and Cuomo. But for all it's just the flu people. 30,000 people die of the flu every year. Humph. When was your give a shit meter going to go up? 30,001 death? Okay, now I'll listen, Wiz. That was stupid. Talking to you, it's just the flu guy or gal. That was dumb. You didn't listen to what was going on around the world. America, that can't happen here. We're Americans. America. Seriously? We are going to be the worst country on this planet because of our failures. Why? I told you in the Wall Street Journal the other day. Let me just read the headline again here, folks, because we're not listening. China's progress, allegedly, against coronavirus used draconian tactics not deployed in the West. Another failure in leadership yesterday out of Donald Trump, walking to the helicopter. I think I'm going to lock down New Jersey, Connecticut, New York. I'll talk to you guys later about it. Hours of freak mode out of those states. People hopping in cars, grabbing Ubers. I'm renting an Uber to drive from New York City to Jacksonville, Florida. We're out of here. Escape from New York. Last night, Governor Cuomo. Words I never. This isn't a Michael Bay movie, man. That's ridiculous. It would be unlawful, and it would be an act of war. What the fuck did you just say? Governor to a president. What is this, like 1862? It would be an act of war. Ladies and gentlemen, do you not understand what they did in Wuhan and throughout these big cities in China? You want to talk draconian measures? And here comes Governor Cuomo. So again, guys, last week I was looking at his performance, and I'll call it a performance. I said his performance was masterful. His execution and partial birth and anti-gun bullshit, I can't stand the guy. Now I'm back into now he looks like he's completely unhinged. But we're having a battle of the unhinged. You don't say, hey, I'm probably going to lock down 3 states, and then say, nah, not going to do it, not needed. Sometimes the president needs that brain to interconnect switch, right? Brain to mouth switch. Telling the Northeast you're going to be locked down and then saying, I'm not. Now what's going on? They shall remain nameless, but hey, man, can we crash at your place in Boca? My family, and I'm like, holy crap, man. Escape from New York, Snake Plissken. It was a great movie with Kurt Russell. Now it's going on for real. So we've blown the response, folks. This will be worse in the United States than any country. We're going to make Italy look pleasant. And clearly, China's lying. I posted on my Facebook page. There's more urns being delivered. Urns, little ash. I showed you the videos, folks, if you care to listen and not make fun of me, of the crematorium, 7 of them in Wuhan, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There was an ash cloud that appeared over Wuhan for like a week to 2 weeks. Saw the videos taken down. You're full of it, Wiz. Yeah, okay. There's more urns being delivered, meaning we burnt this body. Here, come get your uncle. Come get your coworker. There's more being handed out to people than the reported death toll. So the initial response has been lacking. The response by the governor, essentially calling it an act of war, is completely disturbing. This is going to get a hell of a lot worse. I have a lot of doctors on our Afterburner thread. I saw this open letter from a New Orleans emergency room doctor. It's medieval. I'm checking in. I'm getting more doctors to give me the gouge. I don't want to be putting out bad gouge. I wait until I know it's good, and then I put it out. So the gouge is, people, if you're getting intubated and put on a vent, you're bad. It's bad enough already. So the mortality rate of people that getting vented, I'm going to say it's very, very, very high. Very high. maybe we'll share some numbers, but you can probably do some digging. Look at the New Orleans emergency room doctor letter. I posted a video last night that somebody smuggled out of Jamaica, the Jamaica Queens, whatever hospital up there. Man, it looked like a Civil War hospital. This is bad, folks, and it's our fault, and it's our leaders' fault. January 22nd, Donald Trump sitting in Davos. I believe Xi. I believe the numbers. Totally contained. Why even waste my time with this question? We're at Davos. Stock market, record highs, unemployment, record lows. I just beat Xi. Beat him to a pulp with a trade war. Why are you even asking about this? Fake. And Nancy and Chuck, impeachment, and I've been acquitted. The dude was supersonic, man, on cloud nine. And a bunch of people went to him and said, "Hey, man, this thing is medieval. We gotta snap out of it." I can't even. A little bit of a rant time. Did we not? Are we that? Are we that ignorant as Americans? And do we think we're that superior that we didn't look a month, 2 months ago? I knew months ago that this thing fills up your lung, mucus, and they can't even get the damn tube down to intubate because now we're jumping through our ass to make ventilators. Are you shitting me? Are you kidding me? President, governor, everybody in our leadership, too worried about your special interest. I want to punch myself in the face right now because I'm about to say AOC was right for 0.01 seconds of her life. The cruise ship industry, I put a little picture of before pandemic of the 3 major cruise ship lines with the flag of the country that they're in or registered with flying off the back. After pandemic, they all had big like American flags flying off the back. It's a disgrace, the cruise ship industry. There's one floating off of Fort Lauderdale with 4 people dead right now. And hey, man, I was on ships that went out longer than 2 weeks or a month, and we're out for months at a time. That ship and all of those ships, if you went on a cruise in the past, call it 2 weeks to 1 month, welcome to Charles Darwin. That was stupid. These are insanely low prices. Idiots. Those things don't go out for 2 weeks, folks. The people that are dying now in the United States, horrific deaths, got sick weeks ago. And Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, when I did my run yesterday, Saturday afternoon, again, not even near another human being. Anybody was on the side of the street, I went down. Some streets I went down. Nobody on that one. It's like a 5-mile run. Lake Boca, packed. Not as packed as last Saturday, still packed, still boats pushed together. It's insane. Look, I posted the video. Kind of creepy how they got this data of all these cell phones in South Florida during spring break, and then when they kind of like blossomed around the United States and the globe. We're not taking the draconian tactics that are needed to contain this thing. And we're going to suffer the most out of every country in the world because our ignorance and our hubris, in my opinion. Now it's too late. Now you have to go into full. I haven't even gotten to the social. I've mentioned civil unrest in the past. People are like, dude, what are you talking about? When I tell you I'm getting more guns and more ammo, that's when you should have listened. Now there's a lot of people in California going, what's this 10-day waiting period bullshit? Yeah, welcome. All these anti-Second Amendment people reading about a fifth of the Detroit Police Department sick, 500 cops in New York City. Most states and municipalities and cities are telling cops not to pull over for people over for basic just stuff. How do you social distance when you're a police officer, man? Talk about being up close and personal with people. I posted the article, when cops are scared, we need to wake the hell up, man. So again, don't want to end on a low note. You needed to meditate this morning, get up. You need to accept what's going on, and you're going to handle this all a lot better. If you keep fighting what's happening right now, you're going to destroy yourself mentally, and nobody needs that, especially you or your family. So go inside, folks, today. Take some time, knock out a meditation, order that book, and read it, okay? Later in the day, after I gather more intel, I'm going to do kind of a trade post, and make sure you watch that video as well, because this week's going to be epic. It's going to be very, very, very epic. Okay, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. I'll talk to you guys later.